Bill Laskowski is one of those guys.
I am too.
Yeah, you absolutely are.
Where'd you meet him this weekend?
I was at House of Comedy with K. Trevor Wilson this weekend.
Oh yeah, how'd that go?
Shameless plug. It was
Keep
great.
Sucking
So
your
you
own
said
dick.
the first show was sold out. How'd the second show go?
Sold out.
Awesome.
Every single show this weekend was sold out.
Now,
Sunday, they had people sitting everywhere. It was fucking insane.
On
what were
Sunday?
his credits like? I'm not familiar with
Okay,
him.
so he is blowing up because he's on this show from Canada called Letterkenny.
I have heard of that.
And he's one of the main 3 characters or 4 characters on Letterkenny.
But he can actually do stand-up.
And he can do stand-up.
Oh, very funny.
They're all very funny, actually. Dude, fun fact, Jared Kesso, the guy who plays the main character, he has a full back piece. Fun fact.
I could see that.
And I was just like, oh, I love this guy even more.
Have you ever
share
seen
a kinship? I wanted to take my shirt off for K. Trevor. And be like,
I mean, it depends. What's the full back piece of? Because
I don't know. I don't remember.
Okay, because I was like in the mall one day and I saw like this chubby girl with this like looking at her and you're like, ugh.
Yeah.
And then on her back she had a full portrait of Jim Morrison.
Yeah.
And it's like, I can't even fuck you from behind.
Yeah. It just makes me sad. That he died at 27.
That didn't draw you in. That didn't be like,
No, it's like neither side worked.
I can think about the Doors while I'm sticking it in your butt.
Ooh.
You know Jared Kesso? He played AHL hockey.
I did not know that, but apparently he was on like one of the grittiest cop dramas that has ever been made in Canada.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Also, I got to learn about the Canadian version of Cops called like
Mounties?
No, like Cops the TV show, fucker.
Mounties.
Yeah. Mounties are fucking Canadian cops with the red fucking suits on who ride around on fucking
but
horses.
I'm talking about Cops the TV show.
Right.
Yeah.
And so the Canadian version
No, it's not called
would be Mounties.
It's not called
It'd be them
Mounties.
on horses. It'd be Eric
It's called like Serve and Protect or something.
Of course it is. Of course it's not fucking called Mounties.
It should be.
It should be called Mounties. Thank you. God, fuck
I'll
yourself.
concede
What
it.
is
I'll
what is
concede
wrong
it.
with you?
It's Eric Subject's joke come to life.
Oh, it really is. 100%.
Yes.
Like,
Yeah.
it's right there.
Oh fuck.
But apparently, like this, it's like one of the most grim things you ever see.
Okay.
Like in your entire they show apparently they show a cop like rolling a guy's testicle like into an evidence bag. Yeah.
What happened? Why?
I don't know. I didn't get
backstory to that.
I didn't get any more context than that. He was just trying to sell me on going to find and watch this show.
All right.
And that's his cell.
That's. I mean, honestly,
If you
that's
want to
a-
see testicles put into evidence bags, check out Canadian Cops.
That's a sell for me.
I just
That's
want
a
to
sell
know.
for me.
Yeah, I want to know how the testicle got separated.
Well, yeah.
I mean, there's
From
a story
the other
there.
testicle.
Yeah. No, I'm with you, but
I'm pretty sure it was like a crazy guy cut his genitals off with like a tin can. I'm pretty sure that's the backstory.
Man.
Now, do Canadians have a law specifically against chopping one of your own balls off? 'Cause
I mean, they have a lot of laws in Canada. They're pretty.
because I know there are a couple of websites out there that's paying content.
Yeah,
you know,
I mean,
like-
you remember the Pain Olympics back in the day?
I've heard of it. I've heard descriptions of it, and that's exactly what I was thinking of when you mentioned.
Yeah,
this.
dude, the Pain Olympics was. Do you remember Pain Olympics?
No.
Do you know what?
I can imagine it's people getting their balls cut off
It was
with tin
these,
cans.
it was these two guys that were like they'd go back and forth on video and like try to up each other
yeah.
on what they were doing for their pain tolerance or whatever. And it culminated in like a dude like took a 9mm out of his and he
Oh, I feel like you've talked about
he
this.
put his sack on the table
Yeah,
and then he
you've talked
shot
about this.
through his sack with the 9mm. Yeah, they did all kinds of crazy shit. Those guys.
So there was a website called BMEZ.com.
Oh, yeah.
You're familiar with
Oh
that?
yeah.
So it's a body modification website. So
Okay.
it's tattoos, it's
Yeah.
piercings, it's people who hang themselves like fish for some reason.
Yeah.
The suspension is a weird one for
Yeah,
me.
that I don't know if that's
I never got it. I never.
I love when it rips and they fall because that's what they deserve.
I can't watch it.
When I see a large girl up there, I'm like, you're actually brave. You're actually brave, ma'am. You're very brave.
I want to see I'm Every Woman playing at the same time as this. I want this to be a celebration of the sexes. But the guy who used to run that website, apparently when him and his wife got married, like the thing that they did, to like solidify their marriage was like I think they bit the digit off of the other person.
What?
Like it was something really fucking just
what?
like, and then they get divorced, and you're like, well, that was a stupid fucking decision, wasn't
Okay,
it?
so when they
Christ.
bit it off, did they eat it?
I don't know.
Because
That's a very good question.
if
I'll
they
have to-
didn't eat it, then it wasn't real love.
Or maybe they kept it in an evidence bag on the,
Yeah,
on the
right.
mantle. Like, that's from when we got married. Like,
No, they should have then had to like sift through their poop and save the bones. Keep them in a little little
Get
poo,
the colander!
little poo bones in a necklace.
See, what you do is you pickle them. You
pickle 'em?
make a nice brine. You get some garlic in there. Pickle the finger. That way, the bone is just cleaned off.
Maybe what
All
you
right,
do is you
all right.
hang the finger around your neck
Yeah.
with the wedding ring on it.
Ooh.
So
That would be like the wedding ring is like ensconced onto a chain, and then you
the
have
fingers.
it,
Yep.
like sticking down like a torch.
Yep.
Nice.
Absolutely.
I
Want
love
to talk some creative people? There you go.
That's that's how a dungeon master marries somebody.
If you can find that right person.
Yeah.
Are you my soulmate? Will you bite my finger off?
and wear it as a torch for our
I
everlasting.
think that might even
love.
be too much for a dungeon master.
Yeah, yeah,
Well, I guess if it's an S&M dungeon, I guess it depends on how you define dungeon master.
yeah. Which dungeon are we going to? Okay, so just a couple things. Just get a little closer to the mic.
Oh, sure.
Just be. You could pull it to you. You definitely like have full control.
I don't know. I'm trying to watch. I'll show you levels too, and watch
Oh,
them
you can
jump
see
back
it.
and
Yeah.
forth. So.
Honestly, I will. I do a lot of posts, so
Okay.
they're fine. I like it a little on the higher side.
Yeah, it's just a difference between high and then that digital static you get.
Yeah.
And I just want to make sure it
As
doesn't.
long as we're not clipping it, then we're good.
Yeah, exactly. So
And then welcome everybody to Meat Sweats the podcast. Hi. We're back again, and we have Steve Marek with us.
thank you guys for having me.
And I'm
Steve.
very excited.
man.
I love that you have this new project, and remind me of the name again.
Apex Nemesis.
Apex Nemesis. I listened to that. I listened to the video link that you sent me.
Yeah.
And then I want to hear that song in full.
It's all on Spotify.
Is it really?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
We'll make sure to get a link for that in the comments on this. But I fucking love that you're playing metal, dude. Like you we met doing comedy, and I didn't know you were a musician at all before that. Like,
Yeah, so when I started doing comedy, I've been doing music for 15 years.
Jesus fucking
So
Christ.
I'm up to it'll be 26 this summer. Because I've been doing
Damn.
comedy for 10
Oh.
years.
Oh my god. Like, so do you primarily what is your primary instrument of focus, or over those years have you like branched out to everything, or
I can play everything and I can program whatever I can't play.
that's fucking insane.
That's
So,
That's
like,
so insane.
The song that you heard on there, I did vocals. I didn't play guitar on that. I played bass on that, and then I programmed the drums and the keyboards that are on there.
That's so cool. Like, I love that drums are like you can program drums in, and they sound pretty fucking good these days.
It's
like,
funny because a couple of times people are like, "I really like your drummer." I'm like, "Yeah, that I did that." Like I used to be in a band called American Gods, and we had our one of our songs on KUPD during what they have called Play-Doh. That
Oh,
happens
yeah,
I remember
here.
Play-Doh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So in 2009 or 2010, one of our songs, we basically came in second on there.
That's super dope.
And it was just a two-piece band, and they're like, "This drummer's fucking awesome." I did that.
And it makes you think like how much of it out there is pushed in, you know?
A lot more of it than you'd like to
Yeah.
know, because the expense of having a drummer go in and actually doing it.
Dude.
And then, so imagine imagine the audio editing you're doing.
Yeah.
And then putting everything that we're saying onto a grid, because sometimes that's what they end up doing in a studio, whereas they'll grid everything so they'll get it perfectly in time.
Yeah.
So instead of bringing in someone and doing that and having to like have all that work, it's like, well, just put it on we'll just program the MIDI for it and then pick out the drum sounds as we need them.
Well, and then it's just like it's even just so tedious and so much work to like do the physical act of recording drums.
Yes.
Because it's like fucking
It's a lot of miking.
There's so many
It's
mics.
a lot of miking.
Everything's got a fucking mic or two on it, and then like you're trying to make sure that nothing's ringing out in a weird way, and it just seems like a fucking nightmare. I just got a kit, and been loving playing.
Yeah.
But fuck, drums live has to be a nightmare.
So we just got a new drummer, so we played our first show actually last night with him, and
Where'd you play at?
Yucca Tap Room.
Oh,
Fuck
nice.
yeah,
So
crushing Yucca.
Yeah, so it was a lot of fun, but it was his first show, and we've had him for 8 weeks. You know,
Yeah.
like he plays to a click track, and he's on that stuff. But we're gonna go into the studio in March, and I kind of do my research and kind of a music nerd, and I'm like, I want to come in the night before, set up our drum kit, and then do it the next morning. And the dude that we're recording with was like, why? Because it seems kind of weird to have to make 2 trips.
Yeah.
And I'm like, because what I've heard, and I don't have any experience in this, is that if you put the drums in the room where you're recording, they get acclimated to that room, and then you get a better sound because you've let them sit.
Honestly, I think I can jive with that simply for the fact of like pressure differentials in the drum versus the room, and like just being moved around and shaken up.
Yep.
It just gives it a minute to fucking settle. You don't think so?
Stop it.
Come on.
You've had a drum set for a month. Shut your mouth.
I'm just trying to be fucking scientific about it, bitch.
Well,
How
the other
dare
reason
you?
too is, since you know from playing drums, like if we set him up the night before and then bring the drummer in the next day, he's fresh.
Yeah.
He hasn't had to, because you've
totally.
got like a 5-piece kit there. Our drummer's got like 6 pieces and then like this entire fucking table rack that wraps around
Yeah.
him. That's just like,
It's just an insane setup, and
Yeah.
it probably takes 2 hours to set the fucker up, damn near.
and imagine having to do that at Yucca Tap Room last night.
Oh my god! See, that's the thing is like you can get away with just a 5-piece kit and a double pedal. Like
When I played drums, I played 4 pieces.
4
and-
pieces, really.
Yeah,
You
I
just-
took off one of the rack toms and just played the other 2. So
Really?
that I could get my ride cymbal in a little bit closer.
Mm.
So
See that I'm trying to figure out. That's been the hardest thing is like figuring out all my positions, like and learning how to move through them. And
yeah,
there's a desk over in the corner for those of you that can't see. It used to be in the corner of the drum room, and it was just like I was fucking playing like this, and I just like now I actually have room and I can move around, and like my fills are getting smoother and stuff.
it's interesting because the playing like that, like almost claustrophobic, like there's a guy that I was friends with who's in a band called Deaf Finger Brown Thumb. Great name, great fucking punk band. They're local here, and that's kind of how he played drums, is more like this, because he got into a rhythm of figuring out how to get your economy of movement without being overly fucking tired from hitting everything. And I'm the opposite, where I'm like, I got a China cymbal up here, and when I get done playing, my right shoulder is just out of socket from hitting it.
yeah.
So
I'm like I've like dived.
is that something
into-
you wanted to do for a while,
Never.
or have you done it before? Or?
Never.
Oh, okay.
My brother's a drummer.
Okay.
In high school, I played in marching band. I played trombone.
Okay.
And my brother he was in percussion like from 6th grade. So, I mean, I was musical, but like I never learned to read music.
I never have either.
Was it the rusty trombone that you were playing?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. I'm
what I
fair.
thought.
I can read the music for the rusty
many years of
trombone,
comedy?
let me tell you.
Every time there's something like that, like I do that at work, like just when you have one of those bad jokes, like,
Yep.
by the way, 10 years of comedy right here.
Yeah. I love it.
Dude, I had one last night like that where I was standing there with K. Trevor Wilson. I just said like the
Say his
dumbest
name
thing.
5 more times.
I'm going
just
to.
go ahead and get it
I'm
out.
trying to
And let him
summon
write it
him.
right now, and when you have your chance to shine in the sun, you can do it too.
Yeah. Actually, Matt.
This is currency for you
Actually,
right now, is what this
no,
is.
Matt was at Improv Mania this weekend. He closed it out with 15 and apparently fucking killed it.
It was
So,
fun, dude. It was a
I
fucking
like how
blast.
you said apparently, because you're not
I wasn't
taking
there.
his word for it.
I wasn't there.
That was what people told me.
Okay.
And I know that I had a fun time, and I hung out a little bit after with some of the people who came out.
Yeah.
It was just sometimes you just have a just really fun time doing comedy. And
Yeah.
it's like,
Feel
absolutely.
good.
And it's
you
like-
get off. You got a hard dick.
it's like trying to remember that. It's like I just have to recreate that. I just have to recreate, having a fun time, and it's really not that hard.
It depends on the environment. Like I know that going
Yeah.
through, like having gone through like the gauntlet of open mics,
Oh, yeah.
and just having that like, and like me and Jamie used to do that. Like, why the fuck are we doing this?
Yeah. I mean, I get that. Like, I was at a mic the other night, and it's, the kid who's running its mom, and then 15 comics, and that's it. like, and maybe like a couple comic girlfriends. And those are the only people watching it. And it's just like, well, what the fuck am I here trying to make you assholes laugh? You guys are fucking mean.
And that's
you gotta go with a purpose, though.
Yeah, no, it is. It is.
I agree, but I also, and I'm going to do a little bit of kind of like old man, kind of back in my day sort of thing. Because, you know, like we used to run Monkey Pants.
Yeah.
And I felt like,
let me clarify. I used to run Monkey Pants when it was the fucking room to do in Phoenix. Like it wasn't like we used to run Monkey Pants. Monkey Pants was like, if you got a booking there, you were trying, and people recognized it. So like you guys, when you first booked me, that was like a big moment for me as like a year in or inside of a year comic, you know?
Well, and I think the reason why that happened was we started out at the Hidden House. And the Hidden House, when we started, had a certain pedigree to it, which was the same as you felt for Monkey Pants, which was you feel like you got this one booking a month. And the great thing about it is there was an audience there so that the work that you were doing for that month, you had a stage to go on and see if that work you were putting in actually worked.
Yeah. Yep.
And I'm not trying to denigrate any of the open mics right now.
No.
But I feel that with a lot of the show up and go up, that you're not building an audience to have that for.
Yeah. Well, and a lot of them now have moved to like showcasing, doing like a 4-book spot
and
then a mic. So at least they have some people there, and it's like it seems like it's more of a benefit for the business.
Yeah.
And it is building up. Like I went and did just to plug it because it was a great show. At the Grand, Bubba McComb has a mic every other Sunday.
Okay.
And it was a fucking lot of fun for a show up go up mic, and he's got it booked for like the first 4. They each do 10, and then it's just a list. I like the buckets too, like the buckets that have come around town where they're booking a couple spots and then they're opening it up, and that's fair. It keeps people from camping on mics, which was fucking just ridiculous.
But if you don't get picked in the bucket, do you feel like it was a waste of your night? I hate to frame it in that way because I'm not trying to say that you're wasting your time, but part of me is like, could you have used that time better to progress what you're working on?
I don't
like the buckets.
Okay.
I don't think it's a waste of my time.
No, I mean, when you get up, it's great.
Yeah.
And like Hot Mic, which is over at Crescent Ballroom.
Yeah,
at
Nicolette runs.
Yeah. That's great because there's always, a crowd there.
Yeah.
And so it's a great place to get up and see if the shit that you've been working on at the open mics in front of comics will actually work in front of real people in that environment. But if you don't get picked, you've sat there for 3 hours on a Tuesday night, and it's like, well, there goes my fucking night.
Yeah.
So it's a bummer, but it's really nice when you do get picked. I like to know, just as a person with limited time, I'm very much a comic who has very limited time like I have a family, like I have a day job that I have to support that family.
Absolutely.
All the other shit that goes around with it, kids in high school with fucking activities. So it's like when I go to commit my time to like doing comedy, if I'm not going to get up, I would just like to know that I'm not going to get up because you
could be spending that time with your kids.
I could be spending that time with my kids. I could be trying to figure out
spending that time with his kids.
Sometimes
he's playing fucking what is it? Apex Legends or some shit like that.
I haven't played Apex Legends in a couple months.
Well, what are you playing now?
Today I was playing Call of Duty. Yeah.
Oh,
okay. Well,
yeah.
Are you streaming it?
No.
It's not even doing that.
Yeah.
See, that's another thing too. Is that
ditching his kids, not even fucking
ditching my kids? What are you talking about, you dummy? I just spent fucking 2 days at the high school state wrestling tournament with my kids.
You should brag about your kid. His kid placed at state this weekend.
Yeah.
That's fucking dope.
Division 1.
Clearly doesn't have your physique.
160 pounds.
So kind of has your physique.
He's a brick shit house.
He's a brick shit house. You should see him at 160. He's got abs. He looks like a fucking wrestler.
His other kid is even bigger too. Like,
yeah.
His younger kid is fucking like he's a tree.
Yeah, he's going to be a monster. He's a sophomore. So my senior...
Did you do any wrestling in high school?
I wrestled for 3/4 of the season, and I quit because I had no discipline, and I had no parents. I had parents, but nobody really telling me what to do.
Yeah.
But I was like, I started wrestling this season. I wrestled for a really good high school team, and I started out wrestling heavyweight, and I weighed like 210 at the time.
Oh wow.
So I was wrestling like 65 pounds up a lot of the time. And like when they wrestled me at my actual weight, I won. And I got like really frustrated after a tournament, like 3/4 of the way through the season. And I'm just like, you guys are fucking idiots. I'm done. And I just walked out.
Huh.
Yeah.
That's rude.
It was rude, but I was tired of having fat people lay on top of me.
That's a very good reason not to do that anymore.
I couldn't figure out why they couldn't realize, like, hey, when this kid wrestles his own weight, this kid who's never wrestled before, when he wrestles his own weight, he wins.
Yeah.
Because I had been working construction every year for like the last 4 or
when
5
you're born
years
with
of
that
my
beard,
life.
of course you're working construction that early.
I started working construction when I was like 12. So
Of
like
course.
I was strong as shit. And so like what I didn't have in like skill, I just had in raw strength. So like I did beat some fat asses. Like my first match was heavyweight and I pinned the kid in like 40 seconds.
I fucking hated wrestling. Like I had to wrestle our heavyweight all the time in high school. His name was Donald Martin. Fucking Donnie. Ugh, what a fat tub of shit. Donnie, if you ever listen to this, I do love you, but God, you're a fat fuck. He would just fucking if you got under him at all, he'd just lay on you, just a beached whale, and it would just be the fucking worst day ever because he smelled, and it was just it was like trying to swim through soup.
Oh yeah,
just fucking blubbery fat soup. Terrible.
I've had my face shoved into some fat boys' armpits as they're pinning me.
Oh yeah.
And be like, that's a heavyweight move when
trying
they
to put a skin tag in your mouth.
They get you in that half, and they come over and they just stick their armpit right over your mouth and nose so that you quit because you're suffocating because you're just in their fucking nasty armpit.
And that's how you make a stand-up comedian.
Yeah, that is.
Yep.
My favorite
Part
move was actually like where you do a butcher and you put your balls in somebody's face.
That's a good
walk
one.
around their head.
I saw a lot of that.
You
this
just
weekend.
you just dump your business right into their fucking gape hole.
Yeah, you really hip thrust into it.
It's a very Dr. Seuss sort of thing to say.
Listen, Seuss ain't got shit on us.
Hysterical.
We actually found out this weekend that there's a beer league hockey team in Gilbert called the Meat Sweats.
Fuck yeah.
Ooh. And so like they're our new mascot.
Do they have jerseys? Please tell me they have jerseys.
They have
the
jerseys.
best fucking jerseys.
They're
I'm gonna have to go play hockey with the Meat Sweats.
Yeah, you gotta go get us a couple Meat Sweats jerseys.
Yeah.
They're like a fat guy that's wearing a robe with like his chest out, apparently, and that's just their jersey.
That's like right near me too.
Yeah, it is.
I'm gonna have to put the skates back on again.
Neck of the woods. You should.
Yeah.
You fat fuck.
I know. I need to so bad.
Fucking go skate.
I need
Lose
to
some
go
of that
skate.
weight.
Yeah. Beer league's perfect. Beer league's perfect.
Did you ever play any sports when you were younger?
I did swimming when I moved out here.
Really?
Yeah, for like it was one of those summer leagues that your parents put you into to just get you the fuck out of the house.
Yep. Yeah.
And then, like you, I did swimming the first year of high school.
Okay.
And I'm not that great.
Swimming's hard as fuck.
Yeah.
It is. And like the last meet of the season, like my mom came out to watch me, and the coach took me out of it because I didn't shave my fucking legs.
What?
Yeah.
Wow.
And
what a tool.
Like at the age of 15, like it's one of those. Like,
I'm a 15-year-old boy.
Yeah, that's a weird one to like come to grips with.
Yeah.
At that point.
So it was like, if this is how they're going to treat me, fuck it. And then I picked up bass that summer, and that's when I started playing music.
Okay.
And it's like,
sick.
I'm not gonna put myself through this shit if I'm a mediocre. I was in second or third heat in fucking swimming. Like, it's not going up from here.
Yeah.
So let me ask you this then: what was your first bass? What kind of bass? Like what it looked like? What color was it? You remember that? Do you remember it? I remember. I played guitar when I was younger, and I remember my first.
Oh,
guitar.
I had it was a red Fender Squier.
Fender Squier. Okay.
Yeah. Before that, I rented an Epiphone. It was white with a black pick guard, and so I had the type of parents that were like, A, you're not musically inclined, which is something that my mom still doesn't understand why I hold against her to this day. And B, she's like, you're not going to commit to it And I went to the local music store that was in walking distance, and like, well, you can rent a bass and an amp for $50 a month. And the great thing is that you can do it for 3 months, and the money you rent will actually go towards a purchase if you decide to make. If you decide to buy one.
That's fantastic.
So it was one of those things where she's like, well, you can do that, and if it doesn't end up in the corner of your room after 3 months, then you can put the money towards it.
Huh.
And so that's how I ended up starting into
so
it.
you like begrudgingly fucking like
Yeah, I kind of went full.
yeah. You're like, bitch, I'm gonna do this. Honestly, I've never done anything in my life if it wasn't like partially for spite.
That's a lot of a big motivator in my life is spite.
Spite's a great
powerful
motivator.
Yeah, it'll get you to move your ass.
Why do you look horrified?
Oh no, no, not at all. I've done a lot of things out of spite.
Yeah. Matt has a daughter because of spite.
Spite daughter. That's
what?
I'm just kidding.
What does that even mean?
I'm just kidding.
It means you fucked another woman.
No.
To make another woman jealous.
Oh, I could do that.
It's very diabolical.
He's definitely done that, but that's beside the point.
Have I ever? I've never fucked another woman to make another woman jealous.
Okay, moving on. Because I don't want to get into this.
Do you have?
I'm not gonna get into this.
Do you have an example?
You know I have examples.
Is this an off-air
No,
conversation?
I don't think you do have.
Well,
an example.
it wasn't an intentional, but it worked out that way.
Well, I mean, they always work out that way. They're never intentional. I just want to fuck.
Dance
you know,
my puppets.
Daddy.
He's a puppet master.
Daddy just likes to
slutty bartender.
He just likes to throw pipe. Okay,
slutty bartender.
It's not my fault. It's not my fault that all these people are catching feelings about things. I'm just trying to.
I've seen the way. Is that what you're saying?
I'm just trying to be nice.
I've seen the way you whisper nothings sweetly.
I don't whisper nothings at all. I don't know what you're talking about.
And do your fun little dance,
dude. I dance. I have a good time. I have a good time.
Hip wiggle.
I take them back. I make sure they have a good time, and then we part. We go our separate ways.
You don't use any of those wrestling submission moves on them?
Oh, I choke them out. Yeah,
a little catch as catch can.
Listen, it gets weird once that door shuts, but before that, it's all above board.
He starts his foreplay purring.
I was just wondering if the armpit thing came into play. Like, you will submit.
Be like, go to sleep.
He definitely goes to the armpit. Yeah. Actually, that's what he calls it. Never mind. I was going to say something mean.
Say it. Say something mean.
That's what he calls his girlfriend's mitten.
Oh, Bill.
See, I told you it was mean. I said it was mean.
Look at you. Look at all that hate in your heart.
No,
I love it.
No.
It makes me feel special.
I made him uncomfortable just now, though, and I love it.
When did you make me uncomfortable?
I could feel him getting uncomfortable. Anyway,
no, you said the thing that you said, and it's just not true.
My first guitar was BC Rich Bronze Series Warlock.
Nice.
That I ordered from Musician's Friend. And I wish my mom had been more like your mom, because I did. I took like 3 months of lessons, and I was like, all right, fuck this. Like, I just got a driver's license, and I bought a car, so I'm going to go do this now. Like,
well, I think between 4 and 6 months in, I had a couple of friends that were musicians who did not like me, so they pawned me off on one of their other friends. Like, hey, you should go play bass with this guy.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, all right, whatever. And then that guy called me one day, and I'm like, sure. And then I ended up being in that guy's band, and he's my best friend now.
Fuck yeah.
To this day.
Oh, fuck those guys.
So,
yeah.
I guess it depends on like bass players are really hard to find.
They are.
Just like drummers are, but guitars are kind of a dime a dozen, I guess. So
I agree with that.
And even in this case, I came into Apex as a vocalist mainly because they were looking for
which is even fucking doper that you're like a full on screamo vocalist on top of it, because like there and again wouldn't ever expect.
The best compliment that I think I've gotten thus far was we played a show last year, and a lady came up to my guitar player and was like, he looks like a clean-cut college guy, but he screams like a monster. And she's like, how did you do that? I'm like, it's what happens when you're alone for over a decade.
It comes
Please fuck me.
It comes right from my balls.
Yep, they just pull it.
This is all backed up testosterone.
The venom just seeps through it. It creates a black hole into nothingness. And
Lady,
that's where
when
I take the anger from.
Lady, when you get balls these heavy, you'll be able to stream this way too.
It's like either I was going to write a manifesto or start playing metal.
It's one of the two. It's cathartic, but like I said in the video, I have to write lyrics for this stuff.
Yeah,
and I'm 41 now, and the idea of writing these angsty fucking.
I hate my dad.
Yeah.
It's really difficult for me to kind of do that. So I had to craft a story with a character that I had to put these emotions.
I love that
through.
you did that too, because it's
it makes
a whole
it so
journey.
much easier. Yeah,
It's like a whole ride. It's thematic almost, which is fun for me.
it is because it turned out when the album comes out, it will be a story with actually narration.
Yeah.
Mixed in with the lyrics.
That's
I've got it. I've been writing those things out where it's a scene in a movie where you kind of set it up and then the lyrics kind of bring you through it.
And I like how you're doing it where you're releasing kind of behind the music or the thought process behind the music along with it too.
Yeah.
Which is a lot of fucking fun because it gives an extra level of seeing just you guys, which you don't get in normal music all the time, I don't think.
I think you guys have probably dealt with this too. One of the biggest pains in the ass right now is trying to get and I'm going to use a couple of words that I don't like, but it's how people view it, to try and get your product to an audience.
Yeah.
Be it a podcast, be it doing stand-up comedy, being in a band. And so one of the guys I started watching on YouTube was content,
Yep.
and consistency.
Yeah.
Yep.
Which is,
Which we have none of.
when you guys release.
We got a lot of content.
We have a lot of content, but no consistency.
You don't have a set release day?
I don't. I need to make one. I've always tried to. I always try to be do Wednesdays.
Yeah.
But I just never really hit it. It's a rare Wednesday that I actually hit. Oh, I got a video out today, and when I wanted to, and I don't know. It's I have this thing of just procrastination.
Yeah.
Where it's I love making the content, as far as doing this.
Yeah.
But then when it comes
That part.
to sitting over there, I don't fucking like that. It's just that's not the fun part for me. I've never recorded sets because I was just I don't want to go through and have to deal with these after. And now I have been, and I'm so happy I recorded this weekend.
Absolutely,
because I got great content from it. But at the same time, that's more work now.
Who were you working with this weekend?
Mark DeBonis. Who is the feature act? He was originally out of Toronto.
Never mind. Stop. Fuck off.
Real funny, real funny
what?
observational style.
Fuck you. I was doing something. You ruined it, and I don't want to hear anything else you said. So, Steve, let's talk about Destiny 2. I see your Destiny 2 t-shirt on.
So I've never played it.
God damn it.
I
thought we were going to be able to have this long fucking conversation that we could leave Bill out of.
No, see, I like
just
comfortable, cheap shirts.
Yeah,
and this shirt was
almost pooped.
$3 at Zia.
Oh, perfect.
There you go.
Yeah.
There
And
you
it
go.
looked cool, and
Yeah.
I didn't expect anyone to ever call me on the fact that it was a video game shirt.
Yep. That's what I do.
He's a dad and a nerd.
I'm a real fucking nerd.
Yeah.
But you tell me about Destiny. Is it worth playing? Because everything I hear is that this game is put out, it's broken when it's first put out, and they charge you a shitload for all the DLC because they released an incomplete fucking game.
That was Destiny 1. Destiny 2 came out a little more complete, and they're still pumping.
A little more complete.
It was. It was actually a lot more complete, and they're still pumping shit into it.
Is that the one?
I haven't really.
Is that the one Brian watches all the videos about?
Yeah, Brian plays the shit out of
Yeah.
it. I think he's calming down a little bit. I'm a little calming down on it too.
There's
Just because, in order to get the full content of the game, you have to raid. In order to raid, you have to really grind out a lot of hours of getting gear, and then you have to get together with other people and do it. It's so much fun when you actually do it, but it's a huge time investment. It's an MMO. So it's like World of Warcraft, same thing. It's a fun time if you're fully involved and invested in it and are pumping all that time into it. But if you're playing casually, it's a little hard to capture all the best parts of it.
Yeah,
So.
that's not really my style. Well, you
Sounds
guys
like
watch
shit.
you guys watch people stream it as well? Is that what you're saying?
Brian watches the way that it goes is like they do these raids or whatever, but there's like a ton of fucking lore all mixed in with it too. And so he watches this dude that does like just Destiny lore breakdowns.
My name is Bife.
Yeah, that guy.
Yep.
And I mean, I'll come in. He's got the most soothing British voice.
He really does.
I'd fuck him just for his goddamn voice. I swear
So
to
my
God.
guess is he's a ripoff of a guy who, and you want to get deep into fucking video game horseshit. There's a guy named Vadi Vidya
Okay.
who does Dark Souls lore.
Okay.
Oh, really?
And
Okay.
he's got the soothing British voice
Yeah.
and does all because Dark Souls lore isn't right out in the open. Like there's a lot of like reading item descriptions and
it's
that
the
kind
same.
of
It's the same thing.
That's
with
the same
this,
thing with
is the
Destiny.
way it sounds.
Like part of the reason people were so pissed off with like the first version when it dropped is most of the lore and the story in the game was in these things called grimoire cards.
Okay.
Which you would find something and be like, hey, you got a new grimoire card, but then you would have to go onto your computer, log into your account, and see the cards and read the cards. So people like My Name
you
is
serious?
Bife. Yeah, absolutely.
Oh,
People like My
God.
Name is Bife came along and basically just like put all the grimoire cards into their proper order of like, this is the story of the history. And it's a very like
That's worse.
it's a
than that
very
fucking
huge like volume of shit. So he's got hours and hours
Yeah.
of videos just explaining.
That's worse than that fucking Flaming Lips album that you and Gesser were talking about.
Which one?
The one that was like 6 different CDs that you had to put in and press play at the same time, or it was like 16 different like YouTube videos that you had to all start at the same time.
At least
Yeah.
You had to like do your own mixing on it, essentially.
it sounds like a combination of like the Dark Side of the Moon with the Wizard of Oz and like
Yeah.
what some of the shit Tool tries to pull off with like, oh, the tracks overlap. No, they don't. It's all atmospheric shit. You just did it in the same fucking key.
Fuck you, Maynard. You know what you're doing, bitch.
I listened to it. It's not that impressive.
I do. I will say that like what's gotten me kind of back into looking for more and heavier rock and roll was listening to Tool again. Because I found Tool when I was like 13 and angsty and just learning to play guitar, and they were kind of like the band that made me dive deeper into that genre. So it was like I just kind of had that reawakening. But I've also like now being a grown up, I found this band called Brass Against, where they play like Rage Against the Machine and Tool and Alice in Chains covers, with a full brass accompaniment.
That's pretty cool.
And it's pretty fucking dope.
There's an album I have somewhere and I can dig it out later. It's Radiohead's OK Computer done in reggae.
Ooh. Interesting.
It's a lot of fun.
That's very
Yeah.
interesting. I love shit like that where people do like a different style on like a classic song. I'm a big fan of that.
The new Tool stuff though, like
I'm not a fan of the new stuff. I'm talking about like Enema, Lateralis.
I feel like they've
shit
turned into
like
a
that.
Vegas act where it's like
Kinda, yeah.
you pay to see their live show, but the music is not really there anymore.
Yeah.
So
No, he's not pulling triple hammer-ons like just the whole fucking song anymore.
I have a video to show you later of a guy who's like, here's how you write a Tool song. You start off by playing Smoke on the Water, and then he just kind of progresses it from there. It's fucking awesome. But back to loser video game stuff.
Those are video game stuff.
So the thing that I've been into lately is, Link to the Past, Zelda 3 on
Okay.
Super Nintendo.
Okay.
So they have randomizers for it now.
Oh, that's a lot of fun. I love playing ROM games.
So they race them.
Wow.
So there are races of A Link to the Past where what they'll do is they'll set up 2 of identical seeds that are completely randomized worlds, and then
Yeah.
they have to race to see who can beat it the fastest.
That's awesome.
That's insane. I never played any of the Zelda games ever. Never. Still,
You
to
gotta
this day.
switch. Get fucking Breath of the Wild, man.
Brian had it and lost like 3 weeks of his life.
Yeah.
like he borrowed
It's
it
that
from
great.
Nicoletti.
It's-
and he just fucking
when you
lost time.
find-
It made me had a very important decision about relationships happen. I was talking to a woman, right? And she's a woman that was like approaching 40.
Okay.
And so whatever was happening with her life, she was living back with her parents again, trying to save up enough money to go move into a place. But she was a chick who used to be hot when she was younger, and now she's getting middle-aged and trying to find someone again.
Right.
So after about 2 phone calls, that was it for conversation. And I'm not a big phone person. I just don't like it.
Yeah.
And so whenever she would text me and then I would text back and then she would call me. So I got Breath of the Wild for the first time. I'm sitting on my couch playing Breath of the Wild, and I get a text on my phone, and I have a very important decision to make because I can either try and bullshit my way through that phone call, or I can continue to explore this world, which is infinitely more interesting than that woman, which I know sounds horrible, but I want a woman that is like Breath of the Wild. I want to be able to spend 2 weeks with them, exploring them in that sort of manner. Like that's the level that I feel like personality-wise you have to have. Like that's what you're competing with.
Honestly, you're not wrong. You're not wrong. Like I've definitely like just been like, I'm not gonna respond to that right now, just for the sheer fact that I'm playing a game on my fucking phone. It wasn't even Breath of the Wild. It was like just fucking Candy Crush, and I just couldn't be bothered.
I just spent $5 more. Fuck this.
I made a rule that I won't spend money on that shit.
Yeah, if they can't compete with Candy Crush, then I mean that's like the lowest level right there.
I guess there are tiers to it.
There are absolutely. Breath of the Wild, like you're looking for your ideal person. Like this is this is a person I will change my life for.
Or you have
Candy Crush is just like I have to be just a little bit more interested for this pussy.
At least with the Breath of the Wild thing, there's a spark of me being interested.
Yeah, see?
Yeah. The Candy Crush thing is like, this is just what I'm doing to kill time.
Yeah.
And that's what you'd end up being, is just something to do to kill time. And that's kind of disrespectful to you. So
it is disrespectful to you, and this is way easier and cheaper. Like, even if I do put money into it. Oh, God. That's like, I remember I had a talk with, was that stand-up Scottsdale back in the day, like when it was at Anderson's Fifth Estate.
Yeah.
And Howard was like, why don't you guys ever get any girls out here to watch you, huh? Aren't you guys trying to fuck? And I was like, Howard, honestly, it's not that important. And he's like, well, what the fuck is going on with this world? And that's what it is, though, is like people are just like, I could leave it, actually.
Some people.
I can leave it. I told that to the host this weekend. The guy fucking lost his mind. He was just like, what's wrong with you? He got mad at me.
Yeah.
And I was just like, dude, what? Like I don't need it that bad. Like I'm not a slave.
No
to
one
it.
needs it that bad. But God, have some fun. Have a good time.
I do every once in a while.
Yeah.
Here and
So
there.
stop pretending like you're better than it.
I am better than it.
You get fucking wet sheets in there.
Yeah. That was.
But that's from sweating.
Yeah. That's because I like a lot of blankets. I like to cuddle.
I like to be warm. I like my warmth.
Oh my God!
I feel like if you're going down that path, that's the only logical end to it.
Nice Chianti and some fava beans.
I like to eat your kidneys with a nice Chianti and fava beans.
Cannibals are so gross. That's a real thing. Like people do. It trips me out. Like I have a joke about cannibals right now, and like it just does trip me. It trips me out that people eat other people. Like
why?
People. How? Like, how does that even happen?
Inadvertently, in some cases.
Well, yeah. Like,
what if you eat human flesh and you don't know you've had it, and it's the best hamburger you've ever had?
There was a guy that was like in New York doing that shit. He was killing people, and then he had a burger cart, and he was mixing it in.
There's a guy,
awesome.
one of my favorite podcasts is called The Last Podcast on the Left.
Yeah,
they do true crime. Did you ever listen to the Robert Pickton episode?
No.
So Robert Pickton was a Canadian serial killer, back to the beginning of your episode here with the Canadian cops.
Yep.
And he
Call that a callback.
It is a callback.
Fucking
yes,
baby. This guy's a professional, everybody.
And Robert Pickton killed 49 hookers.
Whoa.
And they had a pig farm up there.
Yeah.
And so he was like, it
He's
turns
got
out
an episode of Criminal Minds based after him.
Does he?
Yeah.
And yeah, so he was like, there's a thing where he may have mixed some of the human meat in with the pig meat, and I mean,
sold it.
Yeah.
Fuck
Like
yeah.
there was a couple of months up there where they had to put out a public health warning to Canadians
that's
who
awesome.
may have eaten human flesh
That's
because it was
fucking
mixed
dope.
in.
Dude, when Canadians go bad, they go real bad. Like,
I'm gonna eat you someday.
yeah.
Like we're gonna be on the road to like some gig, and we're gonna break down. It could be San Diego. We could break down halfway to Yuma. I don't
Like one of my worst fears.
I'm
is being eaten by somebody.
I'm gonna knock you out, and I'm gonna cook you in the desert.
You gotta be able to knock me out first,
I can
baby.
I can knock you out.
Come on.
There's a band called
Silly.
Bloodbath, like that has a song about cannibalism called Eaten, which is from the perspective of a person wanting to be eaten. And to me, it is the creepiest song until you reclassify that person as a cow, and then it becomes fucking hilarious.
Dude, there was apparently there was a guy in Germany who wanted to kill and eat somebody, and there was another guy in Germany who wanted someone to kill and eat him. And so they got together online.
Please tell me like this is an eHarmony thing.
It kind of like a dark web.
CannibalMeats.com.
Yeah. Like
that just has so many different just puns to it.
You can find that on the dark web.
CannibalMeats.com.
It's a dark web website.
Yes,
Yeah.
it is.
And so they got together, and then like the dude that was the ED, he was being eaten. He like backed out at the last minute, and the cannibal was just like, "Fucking nope."
Yeah, I'd hate to be a cannibal of blue balls.
And now that guy's in prison. Now he's in jail. But yeah.
But what a way to go to jail, right?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Like, I had consent, and then he just changed his mind, but I was hungry.
Do you think people are gonna fuck with him in jail?
No.
But that brings me to my retirement plan. See, my retirement plan is I'm probably not planning for the future.
Yeah.
So what I decided I'm going to do is I'm going to kill someone who's not useful to society at all, and then be imprisoned for the rest of my life, and they can take care of me.
Yeah.
Because the prison system is probably better than old folks' home.
Definitely,
It's pretty
actually. Like, they put you in a nice ward with a bunch of gay boys and like transgender
we
people,
should all.
you know, and you just kind of live out your life playing Baccarat and Yahtzee.
Are those two terms for butt sex? And
Yes.
is that Canadian?
That's old.
That's
that's
Canadian
old person-
sodomy.
Canadian
That's
sodomy.
old person butt stuff right there. Baccarat.
Yahtzee.
Isn't Baccarat like a casino game?
Yeah, it is.
You fucking idiot.
They play it at the old.
No, they
Baccarat.
don't.
Sure, they do.
Are you talking about backgammon?
No, Baccarat.
They play
with
the James
the
Bond
dice
game.
and the things.
You're an idiot.
No,
You say stupid things.
I'm
It's the
not.
James
I-
Bond game.
Hold on.
It's a James
It's
Bond.
the
game.
James Bond game. Like all the spies that go and play, they play Baccarat.
Yeah. And
I
the
mean,
old
I
folks
feel
home.
like
they
old
go to the
people-
old folks' home specifically.
Old
Yeah.
people play
and they play
Baccarat.
Baccarat. Are you trying to Google this right now?
Yeah.
Stop it. Stop it. Stop it. Stop it.
What is the age
Stop
limit
it.
on Baccarat?
Be like, do people play? People don't play
Yeah,
Baccarat.
Baccarat is old people play Baccarat or Baccarat. They're the same game.
What? How did you get that
It's
information?
a card game. Huh?
So just because it's a card game, you think they fucking play
They
it
play
and the
it.
old people's
play
home?
it. Yeah, damn.
You're stupid.
They play it.
You say dumb shit.
Don't make my mom call you to
You-
tell you that you're wrong again.
Your mom
okay?
didn't call me to
I'm
tell
gonna
me
have
that I'm
her
wrong.
call you to
Fucking
tell
have
you
her call me
that
that
you're
she's
wrong.
wrong. She's wrong.
I want to be
You're
around for
wrong.
that.
Deli, just is sausage a deli meat?
I don't think so.
See?
Sausage is a deli meat.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
No, the only people who think sausage is a deli meat is you and your mother.
I mean,
And honestly,
there's other people have
honestly,
gotten support on the internet.
hold on a second. Honestly, the only reason I think your mother is saying that sausage is a deli meat is so that you don't feel bad.
I think it
No.
depends on
She-
how. Is it? Were we talking? Is the sausage sliced? Is it like a
Like a beer- like-
soprasad or as a?
Summer sausage, beer sausage, these are all deli sausages.
Those are like hot dog variants.
They're deli sausage.
Deli meats to me are sliced,
Thank
thin,
you.
like
Thank you.
pepperoni can
So
fall
is
in
beer
that category.
sausage. Beer sausage is sliced that way. Summer sausage
No.
is sliced that way.
No.
I'm sorry, Matt. Your argument is
More
invalid.
of the sausage?
Does hot dog qualify as a deli sausage?
I mean,
Because it's the same.
depends on where the deli is. If you're in Kentucky, yes.
You're fucking
So we're
idiot.
talking regional sausages now. Is that,
Yeah, we could break
That's
it.
the mountain you're going
We
to die
could,
on.
we could break it down.
This is the mountain that he's decided to
So
fucking die on.
This is
it.
how he's going to end
Yeah.
up eating you is because
Yeah.
you're going to have this sausage argument in the
Yeah.
car on the way to San Luis
Yeah.
Obispo.
Yep, I'm gonna come up and I'm gonna hit him with something new.
and
he's just gonna fucking finally lose his mind. He's gonna jack the car into the ditch, and then he's gonna try to hit me. And I'm gonna get out of the car, and I would have been prepared for this moment. So I'm gonna be like loaded up with bear mace, and I'm just gonna get him, and then I'm gonna get in the car and I'll leave him there. That's the plan.
I don't know. I kind of feel like with the wrestling background that you might end up at one of those jerky stands on the way between here.
I am pretty good at wrestling myself.
He has a more distinguished wrestling background.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he wrestled in college.
You get away.
Yeah,
I'll get away. He's big. I'll just get away. That's it. I'm not gonna engage.
he thinks I'm not fast though. That's the silly thing.
Oh, I know he's fast. I know he's very fast.
Now, does the grease
Prepare.
factor cancel each other out? I mean,
It does, yeah. I mean, I think we're both equally as slippery as the other.
Yep.
I think we're both putting out the same amount of oils and sweats.
oh, okay.
Yeah, so yeah.
That's actually why we did this podcast, is because we have a very similar pH.
Well,
Oh, okay.
it's very vinegary. I don't know what that is. Might have to get some baking
That was a
soda to
weird
even it out.
23andMe day, wasn't it?
Yeah, they were like, you have a pH of 9.5, and so does your co-host, Matt.
Yeah, like, explain the smell in
We
here.
did your ancestry through not a family tree, but a sausage tree.
Smelled your taint. That's how they really get the pH balance.
We just need a scraping from your taint.
How is my clone made? You don't want to know.
He's a gooch baby.
So how did the sausage thing come up?
Oh, it was.
Has this been an ongoing?
We
This
started
is
it.
pretty new.
Yeah, we
he
started
just
last time.
he just decided
I
to
didn't
say
decide.
that he just decided to say that sausage is a deli
It
meat.
is a deli meat.
For here's what happened. We were picking teams for this. We're doing a roast battle tomorrow night. We were picking teams for it, and Dustin Rounds is the guy who's running the show. He's like, we're gonna decide who goes first. We're gonna play a game, and it's gonna be name all the deli meats. And the first thing that he said was sausage.
Sausage.
That's the first thing he said was sausage. To which I was like, you lose immediately. You immediately lose.
Yeah, if
Now-
it was Family Feud style, you definitely would be.
Absolutely.
Now, it wasn't, though, and it's open for interpretation.
It's not open for fucking interpretation. When someone asks a question, they have a very specific answer in
Technically,
mind.
salami is a sausage. Because it's
Then you should have
it's a-
said
it's a
salami.
meat wrapped in a cake.
You should have said salami as a deli meat. Instead, you
I'm
said
just saying.
sausage.
Is bologna a
Sausage
sausage?
Technically, yeah.
And you know what he should have
It's
said?
a really shitty one.
You know what he should have said? Baloney. You know what he said instead?
It's a sausage.
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 You know why?
Because it's deli meat.
Because he's from North Dakota.
Because it's deli meat in North Dakota.
He's from the hills of North Dakota.
You buy sausage in the deli
and he
in
doesn't
North
know
Dakota.
any better. I try to teach him. I try to make him a better person every single day.
No,
and
he
he fights
doesn't.
me, and he resists me, and he's just
You
going to be stuck
fucking
the way
heathen.
he is. Yeah, please tell him. Inform him of what a monster he is.
I don't think I can do that. I can't.
Sausage is a deli meat.
Fucking. This will be the thing that sends me over the edge. I just want you to know that.
I'm surprised. Like, this is great content right here. Is like, I think you guys should do like a WWF version of argument, like sausage meat versus
Yeah.
non-sausage
Yeah.
meat. Like,
It's kind of what tomorrow's going to be, I think.
Yeah.
Just an argument based
About
on
sausage.
that. We should just the entire time just talk.
are you
about
roast battling against each other? Or are you
Yeah.
on the same team? Oh, this
Yeah,
is
yeah.
great. Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. If your roast battle's nothing but arguing about sausage, I think you both win.
I mean,
Fuck.
seriously, like, if you're into that, I'm into that. We could totally switch this around.
Like, just lose the audience and just.
I've definitely done some inside shit for like only 5 people before, like, and
Yeah.
just ruined an entire set because of it.
Oh, it's the greatest, isn't it?
I like it, honestly.
It's
like,
one of my favorite things in the world. Like, I'm laughing because I know what's going on.
Yeah.
And I'm also laughing because no one else is.
Absolutely.
My favorite.
one of my favorite like times doing an inside joke, and I told this on that live stream we did on Facebook.
Yeah, you
but-
should keep telling this story.
Well, I mean, I'm not-
people never get
I'm
sick
not
of hearing your
posting-
stories.
Okay,
over
so I'm not posting
again.
the live stream to the podcast channel, so go fuck yourself, okay? These people haven't heard it.
Why aren't you posting it to the?
Because it's more work and I don't want to do it.
Well, I guess our fans can go fuck themselves.
Hey, go like us on Facebook and watch it there.
Wow, cunty producer Bill.
Was the Patreon and the Snapchat or the
I don't
Snapchat?
have we don't have Patreon.
My OnlyFans is coming soon. It's just gonna be
Oh, your
straight,
OnlyFans.
straight taint shots. You guys ever wanted to see
paints.
paint taints? It's
Paint
me painting with my taint. Me painting with my butthole onto my own taint. I have like a curved brush. It's paint
It's
taints
very
with taint
artistic.
paint. It's also a little bit autistic.
You could be the Bob Ross of taint painting.
That's the goal. I think I'll put a wig.
Put a happy little bush right here.
I'll put a wig on my ass. Yeah, that'll be perfect.
I'm gonna put a stinky little bush right here.
Yeah. Guys, every time we talk about this, it gets further along. And you know what? I get excited.
We're gonna wet up this dingleberry because that's a nice shade of brown right there.
Never mind that toilet paper in the butthole hair. Was a messy night for Pop Pop. He had some super nachos from Filiberto's at about 1 a.m. on the way home from a show.
Oh, I'm gonna poop my pants.
You should. You should poop your pants right now.
I don't want to. One time I was walking in and I told I was hanging out with another comic, Jay Hollingsworth.
Yeah.
And I was like, we were in the car and I was like, God, I really got to take a shit. And it was like the worst thing to say because he just gets this fucking maniacal look on his face and he just goes, oh, really? And he just starts fucking poking me in the stomach. And then we get to the door and I'm like, oh, God, I'm like, this is like so bad. And I'm like unlocking the door and my back is to him and he just like, my one arm's up and he gets under both my arms and gets me in like a gut wrench and he just starts fucking like giving me the ass Heimlich.
You should have pooped on him. You should have taught him a lesson.
That's what I was
pooped
doing.
on
Like,
him.
the only loser here is you,
Yeah.
not me.
Yeah.
Like,
Well, I'd have been the loser because I was in
no,
like,
because you're
jeans.
okay. It's your shit, and if you shit your pants,
Yeah.
that's fine. If you get your shit on somebody else, that's a loss for them.
Yeah.
Actually, you're right.
Yeah.
You're right.
Listen,
I should have shit and wiped it on him.
the cost-benefit analysis on this says that it's a win for you every day.
I've never seen someone ready to kill another person more than when I saw someone get shit wiped on him.
Yeah.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
He
Yeah.
literally leveled a gun.
We talking the CKY?
No, this was like my real life. Like we were duck hunting, and one of my buddies went and took a shit, and then came back, and the two of the other guys ran out, got the shit on a rock. Another guy held him down. I was just watching, and they fucking wiped shit on his face.
Oh, that's a mortal sin right there.
Fucking Parker got up and leveled a shotgun at all of them, and he was just like, I'm gonna kill you. Like, it was a talk down moment.
We make a
Like,
pact right now to never speak of this
It was
again.
a fucking straight talk down moment.
And now it's on the
Like,
podcast.
Yep.
And that's when only 2 people came home that day.
No, everybody came home. I almost got shot once, but it wasn't over anything like that. I just went hunting with
Was
an
it because
idiot.
you were arguing that sausage is a deli meat?
No. No.
That's how you're about to almost get shot again.
Luckily, you don't own a gun.
I know people.
Yeah.
I know where there's a safe full
How
of guns.
much?
Your ex-wife's husband isn't going to let you borrow one of his guns.
Listen, the kids have guns in there. They know the code and combination to shit. I'll be like, hey, listen, I need a gun. Don't ask questions. Just get it for me.
Mo, if you're watching this, please don't get him that gun.
Mo, if you're watching this, I love you. Please stop watching this. For the love of God, for the love that everything is holy, if you ever want to respect me again, just turn it off.
Hey, Mo, do me a favor. Tell your dad that sausage is deli meat.
You know, he's from North Dakota. I mean, that's
He's
his
from
only.
North Dakota.
That's
That's all he's got.
All right.
if you go to Chicago, I think you'll be beaten.
Maybe. Depends on what side of town you're on. They're changing it. A lot of gentrification.
Stop it.
Do you have any Polish background?
I do.
That's what it is.
He's because he's dumb.
Yeah.
Because he's Polish.
Yeah. We have a history of stupidity, and
Okay.
that's where it is right there.
Okay.
Sausage is a deli meat in Polish.
It is a deli meat in Poland. Kielbasa?
Okay.
The kielbasa
You know,
sausage?
so when someone asks you a question in the future to name a deli meat, kielbasa
sausage.
is not a fucking deli meat. First of all,
Yeah, it is.
No,
It's
it's
a
not.
cold served sausage. You could serve kielbasa cold.
that's not a deli meat, bro.
It's a deli
It's not
meat.
sliced in a slicer.
You can slice it in a slicer.
No, you
if
can't. It's
want
fucking.
to.
It's this fucking thick.
Sure, but then you put it on a nice.
You
little
can smoke it
cracker.
nice.
Yeah, and then it's a deli meat.
It's not a deli meat.
It's not a deli meat, but
I bought when
Jennifer
I go,
Connelly can use it to go ass to ass and Requiem for a Dream.
Oh, that sounds amazing. Jennifer Conley.
when I
What a beautiful woman. What a great thing she did for us as men, as young men. The amount of boobs that she showed me on HBO.
I guess I need to see Requiem for a Dream.
Just look up Jennifer Connelly naked.
Okay.
Requiem for a Dream is not a movie that you watch when you're in a good mood.
Really?
Oh, it is. It's a fucking rough one.
Okay.
You watch it once because me saying that is not quite as glamorous as how it goes down in the movie. It is a very sad scene.
I was just talking about Jennifer Connelly
in general.
naked.
What the fuck movie? We watched some movie the other day that was like Napoleon Dynamite meets fucking Donnie Darko meets feminism. It's called, what the fuck was it called? Horse Girl, I want to say. It was very strange. It was about this woman who
sounds terrible. Let's not talk about it.
Dude, it was fucking crazy. She it's like she essentially starts going crazy, but then at the end of the movie she gets like abducted by aliens and you're just like, what?
What terrible writing. That sounds horrible.
So along that same theme, on Hulu, I discovered a documentary called Wrinkles the Clown.
Oh, I see that pop up and I won't watch it.
It is amazing.
Is it?
It's about a guy who got bored with retirement and decided to start scaring the shit out of kids.
Yeah.
And this is in Naples, Florida, one of the whitest places on the face of the planet. And he's given out these little stickers that just says Wrinkles and has his phone number. And there's just phone calls of parents going, hey, I need you to come and get my kid. And the kid is just shrieking in the background like it's the new fucking boogeyman.
Yeah.
And I swear to Christ, this is Stuart Mazzio's dad. It is. And I started laughing because they brought on like a child psychologist and they're like, I just wish he would do something more positive with this character. And I'm like, you're the reason why hipster parents are out there going, Kyler, didn't we make an agreement when we were at home? So fuck you. They need to be terrified. I love this guy.
I do too, man. Kids need to shut the fuck up in public.
Oh,
and if there's a creepy clown going around and scaring them,
parents can hire him to come stand out in front of their house or wave through a window. And it is the creepiest thing because his face is like sliding off his skull. I mean, it is. The dude's like 65 and it is. Oh, dude. I think Arizona Lou needs to go into a new line of work. Could you imagine if he was America's scariest old man clown? Oh, the shorts definitely help.
Yeah. Oh, fuck. Dude, that guy's doing the Lord's work.
It really is.
What about did you remember? Like, it was like a year or two ago when there was just a bunch of people dressing up as clowns and being like really creepy all across the country. Do you remember that?
I think I heard something about it. Wasn't it like a backlash to the American Horror Story?
I think so.
I think there was a couple things going on. There was like the American Horror Story thing was happening. I think it was being remade.
Yeah.
So I think there was a lot of clowns and scary clowns in pop culture again.
There was just so many I saw so many pictures of like just creepy clowns online, and it was like, who are these people and why does nobody love them? Like, what the fuck is ever
because they
them
dress up
this?
as scary clowns. That's why nobody loves them.
What was the first? Are you terrified of clowns? Like, have you seen ones that creep you out?
Killer Clowns from Outer Space.
Okay, how about you?
That's what did it for me.
I'm not. I've always been uneasy around clowns because I've always thought they were pedophiles.
Okay,
like I've known what pedophilia was from a very young age. And because of that, I always kind of thought that clowns were pedos because it was like, why is this grown person dressing up like this and trying to
attract children?
So for you, like
it was predatory almost immediately.
So the clown college to you was like the Catholic Church.
yeah, 100%.
I could
like
see
going
that.
to seminary.
See, for me, it was Pee-wee's Big Adventure.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, there's a scene where he chained his bike up to a fucking clown, and then the bike gets stolen. There's just a scene where the clown is just laughing at him maniacally. And you're like, that's where it fucking started.
Yeah, I do remember that, and that's a pretty traumatizing little moment in cinema. And then Killer Clowns from Outer Space was just like... Well, I'm not like freaked out by clowns, but it just further cemented in my head that
they're bad people.
I don't care for them in any way whatsoever.
They're not good.
I just don't.
We were originally from Chicago, and I remember also like...
Man, your childhood must have sucked if you went from Chicago to North Dakota.
Yeah, it was not a good move. But I do remember my mom, like my parents would talk about like They talked about Gacy and they talked about Dahmer.
Oh, okay.
And I mean, because they were big. Like, I was born in '87, and I think Dahmer got busted in like '88 or '89, around that era. So he was like just fresh. And I remember being a kid and hearing about this guy that would dress up like a clown, or my dad would say like, "You be a good little boy, otherwise, you're gonna wind up under somebody's porch."
Whoa,
and he'd tell me shit like
Christ.
that. Yes.
Holy
I swear to God.
fuck.
I swear to fucking
God, that explains so much right now. Like, that you just told me that one thing and so many things about you that I've been questioning just all
That
fell
was your
into
memento
place.
moment?
It just like, pop, 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 pop. I was like, okay,
He
I get
also
it now.
used to say fatty 2x4 if he saw me getting anything out of the kitchen after like 9 o'clock.
Yeah.
And he'd always be, when he'd see me, he'd always be sitting at the kitchen table. There's a round table like this with his shirt off, and he had this big fucking cyst, so it looked like he had 3 man boobs.
Ooh. Eating a meatloaf?
And nope, and he was eating just a piece of like Colby Jack, like that fucking big, by like this thick, just this hunk of cheese. Rest in peace, Dad.
Massive coronary.
Aneurysm.
Okay. You mean the one on his chest?
Yep.
Colby
Yep.
Jack.
That's actually what it turned out to be. It wasn't a cyst. It just blew up.
Sweet irony.
And there went his third tit. Oh my God. What are we at for time here?
8:07 looks like it's probably been over an hour.
Been over an hour.
I think so.
It's Apex Nemesis on YouTube,
on Facebook, YouTube. If you go
Perfect.
to apexnemesis.com, you should have some of the links
hit the
there.
website too.
Yeah.
We got to get a website. I used to have Meat Sweats podcast, but I let it go.
Did you lose it?
Yep. And then, do you have any stand-up coming up? Like, we've talked a lot about your music, but you're actually a comic too, and that's how we originally met.
I am doing a roast for Negative Steve
Oh, you're doing Steve's birthday?
at the end of the month. Yeah.
Cool.
I love that.
And
I love Negative Steve.
I'm
He's
gonna-
one of my favorites.
I love him too, and I'm like, are you sure? Because like the reason why I don't do roast battles is because
You're mean.
my writing mode is I want you to cry.
Yeah, absolutely.
No, you're real mean.
I can be. The next major one I have coming up is I get to do the Pachanga Casino in Temecula, California in April.
Oh, hell
Fuck
yeah.
yeah.
So I'm looking forward to that one.
Nice.
And then you also work as production for Tom Sims' podcast too, right?
I do Sims, the Business of Comedy.
Fuck
Nice.
yeah.
And then I also do the Spears and Steinberg podcast
Oh, you do
fuck
that?
yeah,
with
okay.
Harry Spears and Andy Steinberg.
Not for much
Nice.
longer, huh?
We'll see. that was an interesting day.
Yeah. Guys, go listen to Spears and Steinberg's last podcast.
Did you listen to the last episode?
I went and had lunch with Andy before it
okay.
dropped, so I know I know what all went
I'll
down.
have to listen to
Spoiler alert: Aries cries.
that.
It's
It's a rough one. It's a rough one.
It's a rough one.
But honestly, you know what? Like, thank you guys for putting that out there for everybody else to enjoy. Because we like watching real conflict. Matt and I's is all constructed and heavily crafted.
It's not very heavily crafted.
No, it's not.
Really just sophomoric jabs off the top of
It's
my
like
head.
kids putting stuff together with popsicle sticks.
It's just a whole lot of me calling you an idiot.
Yep, and then me being an idiot.
Yeah.
It's good.
Sounds like a good symbiotic
It's a
relationship.
really simple formula that works, So yeah, we'll post links to all your stuff in the comments on this. Everybody,
Fuck yeah.
like, comment, subscribe. Thank you so much for watching
Thank you
or
for having me.
listening.
Yeah, thanks you.
Thanks for
Steve.
fucking coming, man.
was
This
a
is
good
great.
time.
I can't wait.
enjoyed it.
You're doing fan fiction again, right? Or fan fusion again too?
Jesus, how do you
Yes.
fucking close out the podcast and then start fucking talking
Asking
again?
questions.
Have you ever listened to another podcast? Have you ever listened to anyone else podcast before?
No.
You're fucking. Hey, so you're doing fan fusion.
Thanks, everybody. We love you. Bye.
Meat sweats, motherfucking meat sweats, meat sweats.